Hello, everyone. This is Lynn Everard. Our topic today is healing versus integration. Healing itself is instant. When we have processed and completed the processing of a childhood wound within us or something else that has troubled us for a period of time, when we heal that and we heal it ourselves, it's not being healed by someone outside of us. When we heal that, it happens in an instant, and it happens for good, for forever, basically. But where we get confused is that when we go into our lives with this new healing, we encounter situations that we've encountered many times in our lives. But now we are encountering those situations with our healing. And integration is the process of applying our healing to each of those situations that continue to present themselves in our lives. So each time a situation comes up, each time we're triggered by something, it is an opportunity to apply our healing to that trigger, to that situation. And we always get to choose. So when we choose not to apply it, then there's a very good likelihood that it's going to keep coming back for us to make a different choice. In other words, for us to choose to be able to integrate, to apply our healing. Once we have applied the healing, then the rate at which those situations come back into our lives is likely to change. And when it comes back, because it'll still come back, but when it comes back, it'll come back with a new awareness within us that, wow, you know what? I actually get to apply my healing to this. And so it does not have to trouble me in the way that it did. Over time, as these situations or triggers come back, we should notice a drop-off in our own emotional response, in our emotional reaction to them. And this is something that we can look at that'll guide us and tell us that we are actually healing, or that we have healed, and that we are now integrating. I have heard of many stories of people that whenever they heal themselves from something and it shows up again in the form of a situation or a trigger, their thought is, oh, I must not have healed it, so I need to heal it now. And they push themselves back into this always healing but never integrating loop. And that's not effective for living our lives, because we don't need to constantly heal from the same thing. Like I said, once we heal, we're done. Even in the area of medicine, the goal is healing. And if we've healed it, we're done with it. Now, one of the places where it can visibly show up in our health and area of medicine and disease is that if we are not ready to heal the inside of ourselves, the emotional, the mental aspects of our physical disease, then we may have the surgery, we may have the other treatments, and hope and think that we are being healed, only to find out that they've come back again a little later. If there is a recurrence of a cancer that was supposedly healed, it may have been healed temporarily, but if the underlying cause is not removed, then the healing is only for a moment, because in essence, if that underlying cause has not been addressed, then the emotions and the mind are saying to the body, we don't care what happens to you, we're not going to address this, we're not going to heal. So you can keep doing all you want, but unless we're going to address it ourselves, we're often not going to get very far. So when we bring this back into the area of healing, emotional healing, healing our wounds, our even our trauma, that it's important to be able to see that if we've healed, then the opportunities for integration will come along. And if we have not healed, then the triggers will continue in those situations. And we'll know we haven't healed because all of these things will show up over and over again with a very high emotional charge, with very heavy emotional charge associated with them, which brings us emotional pain and takes us back into the trauma or the wounding that we originally experienced, most likely as children. So I can't go too far into this because I'm not a therapist and I'm not a psychologist, but it is important to understand that if we are healing, that is a part of the process, and integration, where we apply our healing to our day-to-day life, is also a part of the process. And so when you understand that healing and integration work together, then you can actually heal and integrate, and you will know you are being successful at your integration, because each time this thing comes back, you have less and less of an emotional charge associated with it. In other words, it brings up less and less emotional pain for you because you are in the process of applying your healing to that situation. Whereas up to that point, prior to healing in your life of that situation, of that thing, that wound, you would get a very high emotional charge every time you experienced it. So I hope that helps to put a few things in perspective. And remember that you heal once and you go through a process of integration as long as there is even the slightest emotional charge on that situation or on that trigger. With that, I'd like to remind you that I am available to work with people in my capacity as an ordained minister, and I'd love to be of service to you. I have some new programs coming out that I'm excited to share. And so if you subscribe here or go to my website, www.lynneverard.com, and watch the video and leave your email, you won't miss a single thing. With that, have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching.